There have been few things in sports, politics, life, you name it, that have held as true as the narrative of Dale Earnhardt being the most unstoppable force in NASCAR history, that the Intimidator would move all out of the way without pushback. But as is with all narratives, the trend will eventually be bucked. And that's exactly what happened in June of 2000 at the Pocono Raceway. But this story, in my opinion, begins back in 1999 at Bristol. With the laps winding down, Earnhardt led while Terry Labonte charged through the pack on fresh tires. When he caught the three, he got by him in a pretty clean pass, but the next corner saw Dale Earnhardt spin the 5 and scoot on by to get a win. In victory lane, the man in black cracked a smirk while being showered with a loud boo from the fans.
I was going to get back to him and just rattle him. I wasn't going to wreck him, but I got to him and he turned him around. So didn't mean to really turn around, meant to rattle his cage over.
Earnhardt rolled in stride into the 2000 season. The other main character in this story, though, would be a young hotshot by the name of Jeremy Mayfield. Mayfield was driving Roger Penske's number 12 Ford. When he joined up with Penske in 1998, he had his breakout season. With his first career win, he wound up 7th in the standings. But in 1999, he regressed to be outside the top 10 in points, and in 2000, it was seeming to mostly keep up. While he managed to win at Fontana that season, it was still a step down from 99 and 2 steps down from 98. Heading into Pocono, he needed a good run. That said Pocono race, though, would be delayed due to rain to the following Monday. But once it got started, Mayfield's Penske teammate Rusty Wallace ran off with the lead. And while Mayfield started way in the back in 22nd, his day would be a bit difficult, but he'd be able to make up ground. But the first problem of the day would actually come from Dale Earnhardt on lap 4.
Unscheduled stop for Dale Earnhardt. His son, Kerry Earnhardt, won the ARCA 200 here on Saturday. Dick Bergman, what's the problem?
Flat right front tire. They're going to put the right side tires on that car only. We could see it as he came down pit road. It is definitely soft, Eli. Tough break for the Winston Cup champion, Dale Earnhardt.
Meanwhile, Mayfield was moving forward and got into the top 10 in the opening dozen laps. Mayfield's car was the best coming off the corners, so this really helped him move forwards. Now, the first caution of the day flew when Starling Marlin made contact with Wally Dellenbach's car, spinning the number 75 TBS Ford into the outside wall. This offered the teams a chance to pit and line him back up for a restart. Now, strategy shuffled the field as Mayfield took right side tires only, putting him in the lead over his teammate Wallace. This lead only lasted about 1.5 green flag laps. Even with having worn rubber, Mayfield actually held up well in the top 5. He was running third when Michael Waltrip parked his lifeless car on one of the escape roads, bringing out a caution. So whether on fresh or worn tires, Mayfield was fast. As with pretty much every caution in this race and everyone else in this race, Mayfield pit again. This time he got 4 freshies. Once again, gambling and strategies shuffled the lead, seeing Mike Skinner get control of the race briefly. This also put Mayfield outside the top 10. By the quarter mark of the race, a new player had emerged, Tony Stewart. Fresh tires showed to once again win out. At the same time, Mayfield stayed in the bottom half of the top 10. Pocono's aero sensitivity proved even back then to make passing quite difficult. As everyone spread out, the first long green run of the day would play out. It would stay green until lap 72 when a caution flew out for metal debris. And yes, this was actual debris. As this happened, Mayfield had dove down pit road for service. Everything lined up perfectly for the 12 team. Again, they had the lead, at least for half a lap. With help from Mayfield's teammate, Stewart resumed leading, and at this point, it looked like he couldn't race really head-to-head with these guys, but the draft was a different story for him. A bit further back, Dale Earnhardt recovered from his early race issues and had entered the top 5 before lap 80. Wallace, Mayfield, Stewart, and Earnhardt showed the most potential to get the win. At the halfway point, it all stayed the same. Penske kept a firm grip on the race, 2 and 12 in positions 1 and 2. This green run would be the longest of the day. With 94 to go, they chose to run down pit road for green flag service.
Back to their inside, so Tony Stewart takes over the lead. These pit stops at lap number 107. Glenn?
Yeah, it's a little bit early, Eli. I asked Robert Pemberton a while ago, Rusty's crew chief, and he said they thought they could go to around lap 110, so not getting the fuel mileage that they hoped for. No changes anticipated this time on Rusty's car. With 4 tires and fuel, Rusty's down and away, and his teammate Jeremy Mayfield still working on the left side tires. Now Jeremy's down and away, and he will lose a good bit of time on this pit stop exchange.
This forced the rest of the pack to start filtering down into the pits. When it was all cycled out, the leaders stayed the same. It wouldn't be until 67 to go that a caution would once again wave.
On Kenny Irwin, Kenny was just put a lap down by around goes Spencer. Caution is on the speedway.
Stop car. Wow.
I'll tell you, that grass is full of rain. He's just hydroplaning across there.
Once again, the theme of the day continued. Pit stops and strategy followed, with Wallace actually leading. So the green came back out. Mayfield and Earnhardt began to fight forward this time. The 3 ended up getting the best of the 12, coming to 58 to go. But the battle would continue as the laps clicked off. Up front, the battle for the lead had tightened as well.
And now they're starting to race. I think Tony Stewart realizes they're closing in. He better get up there and get going.
And Tony Stewart, for the first time since lap number 109, has taken the lead here at Pocono at lap 163. So Tony Stewart takes over the lead from Rusty Wallace.
Behind the front duo, Earnhardt and Mayfield closed. With under 40 to go, the seemingly final pit stops of the day were winding through. And when everything cycled through, the running would be Stewart in first, then Rusty Wallace, Mayfield in third, and then Dale Earnhardt in fourth. But the tides were turning. Wallace's car began to fade, putting Mayfield in second with 24 to go. And with 16 to go, the caution flew for the 5th and final time for Mike Bliss. Earnhardt was actually nearly caught up in it, but managed to get out. With 15 to go, the field pitted again for replenishment of fuel and fresh rubber. Stewart, Mayfield, and Earnhardt took 2 tires, while Rusty Wallace took 4. The 3 leapfrogged the rest of the leaders with 13 to go, and now he had clean air.
They'll settle it with 12 laps to go here at Pocono. How wide will Earnhardt's Chevy become?
Now, over the radio, Mayfield had reported having power issues with his engine, putting the edge in Earnhardt's corner. The 2 pulled out and away from the pack. Lap after lap, the 12 car dogged the 3, staying directly behind him, drafting in his mirror. The good wrench Chevy very slowly pulled away from the Mobile One Ford, though. But the 12 stayed within striking distance as they entered the final 5 laps. Rudd and Jarrett behind them were no factor. It was a man-to-man duel. A win-hungry Jeremy Mayfield versus the championship-contending Dale Earnhardt. Mayfield was saving his tires. Earnhardt was just trying to keep distance between the 2. With a lap and a half to go, Mayfield still hadn't made a move, and the leaders were still together at the white flag.
White flag is in the air. 2.5 miles to settle it. Does Dale Earnhardt pick up his 3rd win at Pocono? Does Jeremy Mayfield have anything left for him? Not the way Earnhardt got off the corner, he doesn't.
No, and he's using a lot of racetrack there. Moving down now, Jeremy drops to the inside, trying to draft up on him as they head towards the turning turn.
Dale Earnhardt won here in 1987. He won here in 1993. Here comes Mayfield.
He made a move on the outside there.
Mayfield going for his 2nd career win at Pocono. He nudges him out of the way. Earnhardt goes high. Mayfield is going to win here at Pocono. Oh my! Dale Earnhardt gets rooted out of the way. Jeremy Mayfield waves out of the window. And Mayfield on the final turn of the final lap pushes Earnhardt aside and grabs the win in the Pocono 500.
Boy, oh boy, let me to tell you, when you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Mayfield used the Intimidator's own move against him en route to a win, while Earnhardt ended up in fourth. As Buddy Baker so eloquently said, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Mayfield, either way, was celebrating his third career win.
Glenn, I dare say there might have been some hand signals that were not in the driver's ed manual.
Well, they weren't salutes like he's giving the crew now. I'm going to have to ask him about that, Jeremy. Gets a big kiss first and a hug. Jeremy, that was an awfully aggressive move on the last lap there. A little bit of contact between you and Earnhardt. We saw him come up beside you after the race was over. Any idea what he was saying?
Yeah, that's part of it. You know, he's got me plenty of times, and that's the only time I ever got him. I mean, he can't say a word, you know. I just want to rattle his cage a little bit, you know what I mean?
Mayfield rattled his cage. Earnhardt flipped him the bird. While Mayfield was in jubilation, the Intimidator held his tongue mostly in check on the issue, though he had to crack a joke.
You pulled alongside Mayfield and had a little conversation. What'd you say to him?
Told me he's number one.
Dale Earnhardt, a good run today, but not a win.
The race saw Mayfield lead 3 times for 9 laps. Earnhardt closed to within 57 points of point leader Bobby Labonte in this race as well. The race would be remembered for being one of the best finishes of the 2000s for NASCAR. Mayfield would go on to race a little longer for Penske before having his most consistent years with Ray Evernham, before then being unceremoniously jettisoned from the sport. Earnhardt would finish second in the 2000 standings before his untimely death in 2001. To this day, Mayfield says that this race was his favorite win in his career. Now, if you want to hear more about this from Jeremy's perspective, tune into the NASCAR Weekly Podcast tonight on my channel, as we'll be airing our interview with him at about the halfway point of the show. Show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So, if you don't want to miss it, be sure to subscribe to the channel. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and comment below. And also, thank you to everybody who's a member on the channel. I really appreciate your support. So, until next time, have a good one.